Hi, welcome to Look at the Podcast. Katie, good show start. Brought to you by the Look of Greatness. Have some talent like to bring to your attention in no particular order. Qayden Samuels, 6'5", 200, small forward, shooting guard, small forward, class of 2026. High school Bishop McNamara, hometown, Forestville, Maryland, DMV native representing. Had offers from Alabama, Florida, Florida State, George Mason, Georgetown, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Illinois, Kansas, Maryland, Michigan, Providence, Rutgers, Syracuse, Tennessee, UConn, VCU, Villanova, Virginia Tech, and West Virginia. Was 10th on the ESPN 100. He's a talented player, a lot of talent in the DMV area, always has been, always will continue, will be when it comes to basketball. And at the end of the day, very agile. Plays above the rim, finish wide of the hand, can shoot, run the floor pretty well. Very, very gifted. Plays within the system. He's dope. He's ready to play at the highest level. I'm just going through the process, and he's going to eventually get there. Very talented. Sight to see. You know, he finished pretty well at the rim, in the paint. You know, he's not shy. With contact. So he's one of those type of athletes and players that just love the game of basketball, and it's going to be dominant if we continue on this path of getting better and honing in on this craft. Next on my list is Aaliyah Chavez. She's dope. 5'10" guard, 18 high school, monetary high. She committed to Oklahoma finally, but a brief background with her, she was a 5-star recruit and the #1 player in the 2025 class. She averaged 34.9, 9.7 rebounds, 4.3 assists, 3.7 steals, and 4-year high school career with 4,796 points. She has all the accolades, Gatorade National Player of the Year 2025, Naismith Prep Player of the Year Award, that's 2025. All these awards are for 2025. McDonald's All-American, Max Prep National Player, Nike Hoop Summit, and Jordan Brand Classic MVP. She's a superstar right now. For her skill set and the way she approaches the game should, for the most part, convert over. Not really too many flaws in her game. Student of the game, true point guard, but also can score. She can play in any system. She gets her teammates involved, but if she needs to take over the game, she will. She has shown that she can, and that's just what it is with her skill set. She can finish with either hand as well, and not too much that she needs to work on. Just continue to build on what she has, mastering her craft. Any coach or organization would love her. She's just that type of player on and off the court. So at the end, that's just where we are with her in the very near future. Give you eyes and ears an opportunity. She won't disappoint you. Zahra King is another one. This here is a talented one. Of course, I'm speaking on his talent. 5'10" guard, freshman class 2024. High school, she went to Westtown School. For the collegiate, California Golden Bears. Brief background, continue to her stats. King averaged 13.3 points, 3.1 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 1.5 steals, and 52 from the field. This was as a junior for the Mosley in the 2022-23 season. It's stuff being put out there that she's like baby Kyrie. Her dribbling, her basketball handles are some of the best I've seen in a very long time from a female athlete. She can dribble with the best of them. She can create her own shot. She's very skillful with her footwork. She finishes with either hand. She's a basketball player. She don't really do much ISO, but she can, and she will if you allow her to, or she feels as though she has to do it because of the flow of the game. You know, let's say that her teammates doesn't cut, you know, where they should be cutting towards the basket, or, you know, coming up to set a pick for her at top of the key. She's going to take over from there. But she plays within the scheme. She does what's being asked of her. It's true point guard, true point guard. She has the skill set to actually take over the game and put up some high points. She just loves to be the point guard and to facilitate everything within the play that's being called, and that's what she is. But that name there, in the very near future, she's going to be something to be reckoned with in the very near future. So give her the opportunity, eyes and ears. She won't disappoint you, Stephen. Now, since the NFL draft, I did a live mock draft. Most people have been talking about what has happened outside of their favorite team, getting some of their favorite players coming from the collegiate level and getting drafted to their team. But the main discussion was Shedeur Sanders. I haven't spoken until now since then. And behind the scenes, I've been talking to, you know, the community and people that love the game and just have a different perspective of the game and what happened in that fashion. I was talking behind the scenes, and I'm going to say this. Shedeur Sanders did not get drafted high because of his skill set and the talent, you know, the production in the field. It's mostly about his last name. Not only that, you know, what they call hot seat, but Shedeur Sanders definitely gonna come in and compete. That's all he has to, you know, he's done since his whole career, leading up to this point. He's going to compete. I know a few reports out there contingent to how he interviewed, and he wasn't prepared for certain interviews with certain teams that was trying to get, you know, an inside scoop on him as far as his IQ of the game. You're going to have some that likes you, you're going to have some that don't. That's fine. That's part of the process. But for the most part, the production speaks for itself on the field. This was mostly talked about behind the scenes when it came to drafting Shedeur Sanders, that not only when Shedeur Sanders come in on any roster, whomever he was going to get drafted by, that whoever was the starter or was going to, you know, the projected starter was going to be on the hot seat, will have a short leash because of Shedeur Sanders' productivity on the field. Now, off the field with his last name, that's another reason why they will be on the hot seat. And let's go a little further into it. Let's say that Shedeur Sanders win the job for whatever team he chose, but he ended up choosing, the Browns ended up picking him, right? He wins the job. And whomever the offensive coordinator and head coach for the Cleveland Browns at this juncture, I can't think of it right now, but let's say that Shedeur Sanders not doing too well, you know, with the playbook and, you know, throughout the course of the year. It's going to be chatter about his father coming in and possibly being the next head coach for now the Cleveland Browns, to know what's best for Shedeur Sanders. Up to this point, he's been tied to his father, and some owners and or GMs didn't want that. Most likely why he dropped. A lot of teams passed up on him 2 or 3 times. Even Cleveland passed up on him 2 or 3 times, maybe 4. I can't keep the count. They just passing up, and they drafted quarterbacks too. So they have about 4 or 5 quarterbacks on their roster. I like Gabriel; he's pretty good. I would say a no-brainer because he's a quarterback. Cleveland needs one. They have Flacco, they have Pickett, I believe. Gabriel, you got Shedeur Sanders, and someone else on that roster. Cleveland just trying to hit on the pick for the quarterback because they're trying to watch him. With his injury and what's going on with him, all that guaranteed money, they ready. This regime for Cleveland is looking for that star quarterback that can take them over the hump. And Shedeur can do that. But the problem would be if he doesn't play well. It don't really matter how it goes. If he plays well and they lose in Cleveland, they still gonna look for Deion. If he's starting quarterback and he's not playing well, they're gonna look for Deion Sanders to possibly be the head coach. Should be the head coach because Deion will know what to do with Shedeur Sanders up to this point. That's all he's been doing with Shedeur Sanders. Like I said, brief background if you're not familiar. And on Noah already 6'1", 212. Shedeur is 23 years old, high school Trinity Christian, Cedar Hill, Texas, and also played for Jackson State in Colorado. He was drafted in the 5th round, 144th pick to Cleveland. Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award 2024, Deacon Jones Trophy 2022, Jerry Rice Award 2021, AP Second Team All-American, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year 2024, SWAC SWAC Offensive Player of the Year 2022, Freshman of the Year, First Team All Big 12 2024, First Team All SWAC SWAC 2022, Second Team All SWAC 2021, and Colorado Buffalo, they retired his number 2. He should eventually start for the Cleveland Browns. It's going to be very interesting to see the outcome. Some other media outlets lately are bringing this topic up. This should have been a topic from the jump. It's clear as day, well, for me, on this platform, it's clear as day that Deion Sanders is in the talks behind the scenes of possibly becoming the head coach, whomever was drafting his son. And it's not a bad idea. Now, if Deion want to, it's another choice. In the past, he said he didn't want to be a coach in the National League because for what was out there, that is difficult to coach grown men. That's what's stated. But for the most part, growing up as a man or woman, boy or girl playing in sports, you have some parents that did actually was a coach. But for you to have your father to be one of the up-and-coming coaches, and right now in real time, Deion Sanders, to have an opportunity to not only speak up for their child behind the scene, but to actually have a say-so and ability to be their head coach on the highest level of football. Most people can't say that. Most players or athletes can say that. And this will be another one first that quarterback, my father, head coach, tandem. I can't think of right now. This should be, it might be the first. It's not far-fetched. And in the very near future, it can happen. But until then, Cleveland has a big-time opportunity. That regime, that GM, that head coach, offensive coordinator, and the whole staff has an opportunity to solidify themselves, not only now, but for the very near future, and put that to rest when it comes to possible Deion Sanders being the head coach and coming in and changing that change that culture. Most Cleveland fans probably want it. So just keep in mind for that in the very near future. Looking forward to, like most people, looking to see how Shedeur Sanders does over there, how he competes, and if he becomes the starting quarterback, but he has to earn it. And I believe he will. The talent speaks for itself, and we'll just go from there. I'll go for the NBA. The Pacers and the Cavaliers. Pacers are leading that series 1-0. They've won 121 to 112 in Cleveland. Cleveland was out Darius Garland. He did not play. That was a huge loss. They're going to need him. Cleveland was not able to hit enough perimeter shots, 3-point line, compared to the Pacers. That was the difference. That was the difference in that game. Mitchell tried his best. Lead scorer for Cleveland. He was off somewhat, but he still found ways to be competitive and keep his team in the game. If Cleveland don't get their act together, this is going to be an upset. Indiana has an underrated defense. Indiana can score. Halliburton, he can play. You got players over there for the Pacers, underrated role players. They all can score. They all play defense. It's a great matchup. They're all pretty much similar size, continues to the position on the court for Cleveland and the Pacers. It's just going to be about who can hit the shots, the three-point shots. And Cleveland is one of the best. They was just not able to hit their shots that night, and that's why they lost at home. Garland can definitely change that outcome, should change the outcome. If not, if he's still dealing with what he's dealing with, you don't want to be down too much to the Pacers, Cleveland, because Pacers have the experience. They're looking to rebound from last year. And so was the Cleveland Cavaliers. So that should be a great series, will be a great series. But like I said, Garland is going to definitely be needed in this series because right now Indiana's too much for Cleveland as of right now. So that's why they got the lead 1-0. Tonight's game, Knicks and Celtics. Most people probably have the Celtics. You know, Brunson and the Knicks and Town, they got the team to play. It's just all about, do they have enough firepower on offense to keep up with the Celtics with their experience and being the champions. It's going to be tough. We play tonight at 7 p.m. I see the Celtics winning this game. That's pretty much it. Knicks going to be competitive. They're going to try their best for the most part. I don't see no upset here. It's going to be too much for the Knicks to win this game. It's going to be about the perimeter shots as well, and just the Celtics is one of the best in the league. And they're one of the best defensive teams in the league as well. And they have two premier players on their team, the Celtics. New York has two good players on their team as well, but they're not on the Tatum and Brown level, respectfully. Bronson is one of the best. He can play with the best of them. Towns, that just, can he be consistent and give Bronson and the New York Knicks what they need? They traded for him. So we'll see. Should be a good series up until that the Celtics pull away. You got the Nuggets and the Thunder. This is probably the best series games between the Nuggets and the Thunder. That's at 9:30 p.m. That's going to be a good game. Should be a very high-scoring game from these two teams. Every game. Both teams can score. Both teams can run the floor. Both teams are athletic. Both teams know how to pass the basketball and share the basketball with one another. Should be a high-scoring game from both teams, each game. So, you know, check them out. To win that series, that's a toss-up. You know, flip a coin. I'm just interested in seeing the outcome of this series with the Nuggets and the Thunder. You know, last but not least, we got to talk about the Commanders briefly. You know, words out there that, you know, they are having the NFL draft here in D.C. 2027. You know, Roger Goodell, they was at the White House talking to the president. You know, Trump, Josh Hurst, all of them was there. The mayor was there. Ms. Bauer, she was there. Roger Goodell expects, you know, 1 million visitors to attend this 2027 NFL draft in D.C. What I love about it, since I've been talking about the Commanders on this platform, winning cures a lot of things. Winning creates opportunity. And here in D.C., yes, the DMV area too, but D.C. is going to be so much opportunity, I would probably say ever before, that's coming, you know, to District of Columbia with career opportunities, with success of this from the sports team. Yes, times are tough for a lot of people now in the economy right now, but this can and will and should help with that, you know, especially here in D.C., the DMV area. And I'm all for it. It's all about change. Why not bring back the team back to D.C.? And that's what they're doing. That's what they're striving to do. I still got to go through the process, but the deal should definitely get done. Will get done, and I'm happy. You know, I'm happy. The Washington Commanders as a team, as a whole, as an organization, from ownership all the way down. In the very near future, they're going to win. They're going to win a Super Bowl. They're going to win the Super Bowl. The team is stacked. The coaching staff knows what to do, knows how to go about it. Like I said, the GM, AP knows what's going on. The ownership allows the GM and the coaches to do their job. and the ownership knows how to run. That regime, the ownership group, management group, imagine in the whole crew, they know how to win. They're going to do whatever it takes to win, and they determined to. Look, they only been here a year, and already the team is going back to D.C. They're looking forward to win, to enjoy that new stadium, state of the art, and people are going to enjoy coming to D.C. They do for other reasons, but for sports-wise, it's going to be probably the best city in America as far as sports, coming together. D.C. is going to be one of the best, if not the best place to go. State of the art, atmosphere, winning culture, coming together as people, and great opportunities, and that's what it's about. That's where we are. And the Commanders, the team, since the draft, the players that they picked, they hit on them picks, man. Yes, they haven't played yet, but when it comes to the professionals, the scouts for the Commanders, they picked some key players. They picked the best players on their board, and the players that they picked, some people might say it was a need, but it wasn't a dire need for them to come in and start right away because they had people at the position. All teams have people at their respectable positions. Starting corners, starting safety, starting offensive linemen. They're gonna come in and compete like everyone else, but the difference is with the Commanders, the talent that they pick in the draft. Conley, with their first round and late in the first round, the tackle, one of the best, if not the best, I say the best offensive lineman. He can play anywhere along the line, probably outside the center. If you ask me, he'd probably do that too. But he's the best overall lineman in the whole entire draft. And Commanders got him. They traded for Larry Tunsil, the Commanders. So now that you bring in Larry Tunsil, you still possibly got to re-sign him, but I will allow him to play and go about a performance base to see if we extend him. They should definitely extend Terry McLaurin. But sticking with the offensive line, because he's a homegrown, Terry McLaurin should definitely keep it home. Larry Tunsil definitely helped solidify the offensive line because it shifts Brandon Coleman to wherever position that he could win the competition in. That makes the whole entire unit of offensive linemen for the Commanders better. Commanders was top 5, possibly top 3 in rushing. Top 5, top 10, the least offensive teams in the league. And you get more protection for the superstar JD5, Jaden Daniels. Brian Robinson should play better. The holes that he can actually run through, Brian Robinson should make him better, because towards the middle of the season last year, towards the end, just the line was just a lot of turmoil going on. People was hurting, offensive linemen playing positions that they never played before, mostly in their career, and it was just a lot. And they still found ways to win. So you solidify that line, that makes everyone better on the offensive line. Not only that, they can be dominant in the trenches. Like the Eagles showed everyone last year by winning the Super Bowl, offensive line and defensive line. So the offensive line pick for them was magnificent for Commanders with Conley. But that second round pick, Amos, the corner, Ole Miss, he was first round talent. Definitely first round talent. He went in the second round. He's a starting corner. Definitely with Mikey for the Commanders, with Latimer on the other side. You have 3 starting corners. In this league, that's what you need. 3 starting corners that can start and play and line up anywhere on the field. That's good. That's an advantage to the Commanders, especially when you're going against your own division. But this team is built for the league. But you start with the division, and this helps them to compete with the Eagles. It helps compete with the Eagles. The Eagles are the favorites to win the division, but in the NFC East, the same team doesn't win the division 2 years straight. It's been like that for a while. A long time. We'll see who's the winner this year. But when it comes to the Commanders, their team has just got better. With Amos, they picked linebacker. I talked about my top linebackers. They actually drafted him. Nick Drano, from UCLA. He's a player. He's a ball hawk. He's going to definitely contribute in special teams. He's probably my underrated pick when it comes to for defense linebacker. Yes, he come in and learn from Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu. It's a great pickup. But the all their pickups was good, right? They all talent and have the opportunity to come in and compete. But the main one for me, for that defense, people keep talking about the pass rush. Jacob Martin is going to surprise a lot of people. That's it. I've been saying it for a while. He's going to be the Dante Fowler for this year. Jacob Martin. He can play linebacker. He can play outside linebacker, standing up. He can play DN, rush the quarterback. He definitely is an underrated rusher. That's the reason why they didn't draft my defensive end. They feel good about what they have. I see what they're doing. I see what they did last year with Dante Fowler. People were surprised what he did last year. The system helped Dante Fowler to do what he's done or what he did. 11.5 sacks, 12 sacks. Most people didn't see that coming. So Jacob Martin has that same tweener to go around the edge, speed rusher, agile, spin moves. He can do it all. He's more of a, they both veteran, but Jacob Martin might be younger than Dante Fowler. So I see Jacob Martin replacing Dante Fowler. That's me. And they drafted someone, Baptist, the Commanders last year. They like him too. So they have players already at that position. Fans want them to just draft someone just to draft because they feel like it's in need. They pretty much have what they need. You can always add. You still have June cuts. You never know who might get released, and they might go from there. But as of right now, this team is ready to compete right now. If they was playing this Sunday, they would be ready to play. They would definitely be ready to play. I see rumors about Von Miller and Zadarius Smith. Von Miller would be a good pickup. A veteran minimum for situational pass rush, if that's what they want to do. They might still do that. If they add a premier pass rusher, Hall of Fame type player, gold jacket, Von Miller, that would be a beautiful thing. It's like to see. But for the most part, the Commanders. But let me get back to my. It's not a surprise to me. I've been, beating the table for this to happen, and it did. They gave him an invitation to mini camp. Gabriel Taylor, Sean Taylor's young brother. He's gonna have an opportunity to make this team. He should make this team. Yes, I know the Commanders went and signed Will Harris from the Saints. It's definitely good to add that agile safety. He has a relationship with Marshall Lattimore. That's going to help. They lost Jeremy Chin, but Will Harris is a good pickup. He can play the box, he can play the pass, he can play the run, check the running back, check the tight end. He can play the slot, check the slot. Sorry, that was a good pickup. You got Percy Butler. To go with Quan Martin. We have Tyler Owens. That was Murray last year. He made the team as an unrestricted free agent. Tyler Owens, towards the end of the year, he got hurt. Didn't get an opportunity to actually play in the playoffs. Towards the end of the year in the playoffs. That's another player I like as well. Gabriel Taylor has the opportunity to make the team and contribute to this community, this organization, his household name, last name. I see him making his team. And I'm just throwing it out there because he's going to compete. You turn the tape on. I know they talk about measurements. That's good for combine and paper. But when it comes to playing football and turning the film on, he's a playman. He makes plays. He loves the game. He's very physical. I see him. I root for him to make this team, and I see him doing it because that's what happens. You suit up and you compete. And just go from there. Allow the coaches to do what coaches do and evaluate and make the best decision for the team. And I think he would be part of that decision for this organization, for this community. It would be a good thing to see, for him to represent his family, from the tragedy in the past. So I surely appreciate everyone for continuing to tap in, supporting this platform. Check out the merch. Should be a link in the bio. Surely appreciate everyone that's on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. Surely appreciate that. And people here. But yeah, that's what it's about. I'm Qayden. So get a podcast brought to you by the local greatness. Have a good one.